We start, though, with the big news we brought to you in the last hour. Sporting Lisbon manager Ruben Amorim has reached a verbal agreement in principle with Liverpool, according to Sky Germany, although sources in Liverpool have refuted the story. The 39-year-old is said to have discussed a 3-year contract to become Jurgen Klopp's successor, but a deal is still to be finalised. Sky Sports News reported last week that Amorim was a leading candidate as Liverpool search for their next head coach. OK, we have Dougie and Sam still with us. We'll have Gail joining us as well in just a moment. But we've got to start with this story that Gail broke in the last hour with a little more that we know about this. Would he be a good fit for Liverpool, do you think, Sam?
It's an interesting one because this is clearly not Liverpool's first choice manager. They clearly wanted Xabi Alonso first, and he's turned it down because he's a young manager and maybe it's come too soon. So for Ruben Amorim, who's also a young manager, to take the role shows he's got a lot of confidence in himself. I mean, I was at the Emirates last season when his Sporting Lisbon team beat Arsenal, knocked them out of the Europa League. And comparing them to Porto a few weeks ago when they came to Arsenal in the Champions League, the Sporting side were a lot more confident. They were a lot more attacking. They didn't want to sit. They actually played the game really well, and they got their rewards by going through. So I don't think this is a surprising move, in my opinion, especially with the timing. You feel that with Michael Edwards in, Richard Hughes, you felt that things were going to develop a little bit more quickly. But it's certainly an exciting managerial potential appointment, given he's 39 years old in a league that already has the likes of Mikel Arteta, Roberto De Zerbi coming through as well. Yeah,
most of them all younger than me. It's how old I feel, goodness me. You've spent time watching Sporting play, haven't you, Dougie? What could he potentially bring to Liverpool? Would he suit what Jurgen Klopp would kind of leave him in terms of style of play? How do you think he would integrate?
Yeah, it's an interesting one because actually Xabi Alonso and Ruben Amorim both favour, at least this season, a 3-4-3 formation, which is a system that Liverpool, I can't remember using under Klopp at all. So that is quite a departure. Whether he will stick with that if he is appointed at Liverpool is another question, because you look at, there has been an emergence of a number of centre-backs with Joe Gomez getting back to full fitness, Jarrell Quansah coming onto the scene as well, but does it necessarily fit Trent Alexander-Arnold's best position, Mo Salah, etc.? But what Ruben Amorim has proved to be very good at is rebuilding sides year on year, which is something that might need to happen this summer if Mo Salah is tempted by a move to Saudi Arabia. We imagine that Saudi Arabia will come back in for him. So that could be quite crucial. You know, you look at Ruben Amorim and the calibre of players he's lost over the last few years, Manuel Ugarte, Nuno Mendes, Mateus Nunes, João Palhinha. These are players that he either brought through from Sporting's academy or plucked from relative nowhere, really. And look at the attacking players that have thrived under him this year. I think Darwin Núñez will be excited to see that Victor Gyökeres has scored nearly 40 goals for him this season, close to, in double figures for assists as well. Pedro Gonçalves, who he signed from Famalicão, a lowly Portuguese side as well, has consistently hit around 15 goals per season as well. So there is a lot of possibility of attacking football there. He's probably a little bit more structured than Jurgen Klopp, a lot less gegenpressing, sort of counter-pressing style. But there is control there, and the fact that he's managed to reassert Sporting CP at the top of the Primera Liga table, because this is a side that hadn't won the title for 19 years before he took over. And the fact that he's going for their second title in 4 years does show that he's managed to wrestle back control, which is what Liverpool are potentially going to have to do next year as well, if City or Arsenal go on to win the league title. So big question marks, but a lot of excitement potentially around this appointment too. Yeah,
one of the big question marks is, as Dougie mentioned there, the three at the back, and you wonder where that would leave Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah, absolutely. 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1 if you're really, really pernickety. But yeah, where would you play Trent in that setup? Do you play him at right wing back? Do you want him going up and down the whole time? Do you trust him defensively in the midfield too? Do you even consider playing him at right centre half? That doesn't quite feel right. And obviously there's links with Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid, and it poses a lot of questions for not just him, but quite a lot of figures in the squad. Dougie's already mentioned Mohamed Salah. What will happen with him? Does he fit into this setup? You know, you've got Virgil van Dijk. Does he want to play in the back three? Does he want to does he trust himself to actually play in the back two? You know, it's a lot of questions, and I think it might take Amorim, if he is the man to step in at Liverpool, a bit of time to sort of rebuild this and get his stamp his authority on the team.
Yeah, well, this will be a story that develops, of course, and we'll have all the news for you here. Initial reports coming from Sky Germany.